So I am here in the comic book room and I decided to set the mood for what it is that we're going to be looking at in this video by lighting a candle that was sent to me by my good buddy Tina, and this is a vintage comic book scented candle. So we are definitely setting a mood here as we are going to dig into a massive AOK that has been sent to me by a subscriber. And in addition to that, we're also going to look at one book that I picked up recently. If you are curious as to what it is that is sitting here on the desk, I want to encourage you to stay tuned for the video. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel for some reason or another, I want to officially and personally invite you to go ahead and tap that subscribe button. That way you don't miss out on any of the content that gets released from the channel. And certainly if you're feeling frisky, you can go ahead and turn on notifications and also leave a comment behind. With that said, let's check out the books. You only live once, so you can only give once, is what is written on this piece of paper that was sent to me by a subscriber along with an entire run of Invaders. And you guys know that I am a huge fan of the Invaders and I pick them up whenever I see them. A subscriber has generously given me a full set and we're going to look at them. In addition to the full run, I was also sent a few other items that I was not aware of. So I thought that was really cool. But let me finish reading this letter. It says, "Thanks for everything you've given to the comic community and for just being an all-around rad guy. Love watching your channel, had an extra something lying around for your kids, and you will probably appreciate that I threw it in. I recommend you check out the other books by this author. Open slowly, he's a genius," and this is from David G. David, thank you, brother. I definitely appreciate it. A little hot, a little Human Torch going on up there. Very nice letter and an awesome AOK. I'll actually start things off with this right here. This is what was sent for my kids. This is the Chronicles of Narnia. And this is a book based upon C.S. Lewis. This thing has some pop-ups and stuff like that. I am not all that familiar with Narnia, to be honest with you, but I mentioned it to my wife and she was like, "Oh, that is awesome. The kids are going to love it." So it's a really awesome book, and you can see that there's like pop-ups and stuff like that inside of there. It's actually relatively thick, probably 2 inches or so because of all the pop-ups. So once I film this video, I'm actually going to take this and give it to the wife so that she can entertain the kids at some point this weekend. So definitely a really cool thing that I think they're going to enjoy. So I am not going to show you all of the books. There are 3 stacks like this size, if not larger, that are sitting here. We are not going to look at this full run of basically 41 comics and some annuals, but I am going to show you a couple of them because there are a couple of really cool covers in here that I think are awesome and worthy of a few moments on screen. We're going to start it off with Giant Size Invaders issue number 1. This is just a really awesome cover. I absolutely love this. I have a couple of copies of this, including some graded copies, some of which were actually sent to me by other subscribers. So I think people know that I love some Invaders and they try to take care of me. So I definitely appreciate that. This is another cool one. This is the King Size Annual issue number 1. This is a Schomburg cover. Extremely talented Golden Age creator. At some point, I'm going to get some of his more famous works that he did back in the Golden Age featuring Submariner and Human Torch. But for now, I will continue to enjoy covers like this that are a little bit more affordable. So really cool Alex Schomburg cover right there. Definitely enjoyed that one. I think I also have a graded copy of that may have been A-OK to me. And then here is issue number 1 of the regular Volume 1 Invaders series. And there have been several series of Invaders over the decades. This, of course, is Volume 1. Not going to show that one. Here's a cool cover. I don't know who did this one, but this is issue number 3. And again, I'm going to just kind of skip through some of these. I'm not going to show everything. I'm going to try to pick out a couple of cool ones. Let me see, little Bucky action on the cover of issue number 5 right there. Let me see, enter the Liberty Legion. What's cool about this is there's another book that I'll show you shortly that involves some of these characters that are on the front cover, some of which you've probably never ever seen before, because a couple of them only appeared a few times back in the Golden Age. And there was a really cool book that I'll show you that I was not aware of that actually reintroduced some of these characters. Here is Union Jack. Speaking of like introductions, Union Jack right there. Absolutely love the Invaders. And there's a couple here that I still have not read, so I definitely need to do a little bit of homework here. Here is the Blue Bullet. This is issue number 11, the Blue Bullet right there. Very cool. This looks like a kind of sort of like a Kirby cover. I don't know if he actually did this cover, but looks a little like him, especially like down here. That's some Kirby looking stuff. So if somebody knows whether he did those, let me know. I again am not up on all of the trivia associated with the Invaders, despite the fact that I enjoy the title. The little Master Man action here, issue number 16. Little Master Man right there, little Hitler stuff going on. Let's see what else we have over here. Here is the next stack. This is issue 17 on right there, another massive stack. And I will tell you, I do like these books that have the Nazi stuff on there for some reason or another. It's just one of those things that you don't necessarily see that stuff now. And I recognize, because of who the Invaders were, because of what they were trying to accomplish, the Nazi stuff is very much fitting. I dig this one right here. This is the reintroduction after 3 decades of the Destroyer. I just love that character, and I want to say that he was he created by Stan Lee? I want to say that was one of Stan Lee's early creations, was the Destroyer. And again, you guys will fact check me on that. Little Hitler action right there. Some more Union Jack on the cover right there. Let me see what else we have in here. A couple of Human Torch covers, Toro covers that are pretty cool. The Scarlet Scarab, easy for me to say right there. A lot of these books are in really, really great shape, and I'm actually going to be swapping out some of my copies for some of these copies. So yeah, I definitely appreciate this right here from David. A lot of really, really awesome books. Let's see what else we have. Somebody actually commented on one of my previous videos about the fact that they love the Invaders. I left them a message, and I'm waiting for them to respond, because I may try to pass some of these copies on to them. That way that they can complete their own run of Invaders, because it's definitely a cool title. Little Thor and Submariner action right there, coming to blows. And the Destroyer strikes back right there. This is issue number 34. Right there. The Wizard here on issue number 35. And again, some of the characters that I'm showing you actually come up in a separate title, a title that I was not quite aware of. The Iron Cross right there. You-Man over here. I'm skipping through, and then I'll show you the very last one. The very last one is issue number 41. This is the double-size Invaders right there. Definitely a heavy, thick book right there. Really, really cool one. So, to the point of books that I was not aware of, there are 2 of them that really jumped out at me that I've actually read. This is Marvel Premiere issue number 29 and also issue number 30. This is really cool. A lot of these characters, some of which I just showed you on some of these other books, were actually brought together. This team was actually brought together by Bucky. And they went up against the Invaders, because at the time the Invaders were being brainwashed. And so all of these heroes, these American heroes from the Golden Age, came together to free the invaders. And I thought it was a really cool book. It actually gave us a little bit of background on each one of the characters, which I thought was really neat. Prompted me to go look up some of these books online. Not easy books to find, but there were a couple of copies, and I almost started to buy them. I almost started to buy them as I found them. And I was like, no, I cannot go down that rabbit hole. Cannot do it. Here is issue number 30 right here. And this is, again, the Liberty Legion, who appeared as a team, I think for the first time in Marvel Premiere issue number 29 and issue 30. So definitely some cool books there. I was not aware of that title. He threw in here a what if invaders had stayed together after World War II right there, issue number 4. Here's some Phantom Eagle, who I do believe was actually part of the Liberty Legion team. And then he threw in another stack of books from the additional volumes of the Invaders. As I mentioned, there were several of them. We're not going to look at them, but I will take a moment to look at this shiny foil. This is X-Men Dawn of the Age of Apocalypse, and this was actually signed by Jeff Loeb. And I don't know how well that's going to show up on screen, but that is some 90s foil goodness right there. I definitely dig that one. He signed it up here in this this left-hand side. So an amazing stack of books that David sent over to me. I am very appreciative of him and anybody that sends me stuff. I'm very appreciative. I'm going to spend a little bit of time comparing these books to ones that are already in my run to make sure I have some, good copies as best as I can possibly get. And then I'll try to find a way to pass some of these back out to the community. The other thing that I'll show you is that I did make a purchase recently. Made a purchase, and I decided to do it because after I went through my collection and found my copies of this book, I realized that I did not have any high-grade copies of this comic. And so I decided to go ahead and buy them. And as I did my research to see what was out there, there was an announcement that came out about this title. And I kind of figured that this was going to happen sooner or later, but there was a little bit of an announcement. And as a result of that, the prices went up even more. And I was looking and I actually found a signed copy, a signed and remarked copy of this book at a 9.8 for less than just a regular blue label. So when I saw that, I was like, I gotta go ahead and get that one because I want it in my collection. Even though, again, I have multiple copies of it, none of them, I don't think, will be a 9.8. So decided to, sometimes it's better just to pull the trigger and buy a graded copy. And that was definitely the instance here. This is Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars issue number 1. And this book was actually signed and sketched by Mr. Jim Shooter. And you can see the sketch right here. He actually put in a black costume Spider-Man. I think many of you probably know the history that Jim Shooter actually paid a writer, an amateur writer, I think it was around $200 or $250 for his idea of the black costume for Spider-Man. And so as a result of Jim Shooter striking that deal, he took ownership of the idea, and ultimately when he wrote Secret Wars, he introduced the black costume. The black costume gave us Venom and Carnage and all of the other stuff that has come after that. So I thought this was a really, really cool book. It is on the custom label that CGC puts out. Again, a 9.8. The book does have a few spine ticks on the backside. I did notice that, but it is still a 9.8 signed by Mr. Jim Shooter. So definitely a really cool book, and I'm pleased to have it in the collection. So again, huge shout out to David for hooking me up with that really awesome AOK. I am very appreciative of this. Shout out to the seller that hooked me up with this book on Shortboxed because it was a really, really good deal, and will have a home here in the collection for a long time to come. If you guys, again, haven't subscribed to the channel, I definitely want to encourage you to do that. If you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, and also to leave a comment behind. If you need to reach out to me for any reason, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.